18 runs. The scores: England 136 and 199, and Pakistan 353 all out. Not good tidings for English cricket after a run of splendid success.
To the 16th Benston Hedges Cup final here at Lord's. Lord's looks a picture. There's £20,000 available to the winner, £10,000 to the runner-up, and of course that wonderful fine golden trophy. Now, Northants seem to be the side with the greater experience. They were here back in 1980 when they won the title then, won the cup. But Yorkshire have to go back a long way, don't they, to 1972 for their last big day at Lord's, and only David Bairstow as a player remembers that day personally. Let's take a closer look at the teams, because Northants have a wonderful array of stroke makers. Jeff Cook, Larkins, Bailey, Lamb, Capel particularly, and that man Winston Davis, the West Indian fast bowler, is having quite a devastating spell during this last month. And Yorkshire, well, once the promising youngsters are now fully established, Moxon, Metcalfe, Blakey, Sharp and Love, quite a start for them, and they have a full array of seam bowling with Arnie Sidebottom, the veteran, leading them. Yorkshire won the toss. They've elected to field. We'll join the match in the second over. Arnie Sidebottom's bowling to Wayne Larkins, and there's just one run on the board.
That's a go. What a risky single to put the first Northants run on the board. Unusual for Harold Bird to be caught in the wrong spot, but it seemed to me that he was there. He's going to the same side as the throw. Didn't get it on the shin as he did at Old Trafford, but he got it on the heel, and it would have been decidedly interesting. And a difficult one for him to give from that position. Paul Jarvis now. Well done. Jarvis got the extra bit of lift. First blood to Yorkshire. Cook is tapping the pitch on his way down, but I don't think it's anything to do with the pitch. A little bit extra from the bowler, and the batsman didn't play it quite as he might have wished. That wasn't angling down.
Paul Jarvis with his very nice action. He's always a little quicker than he looks. That was just a short of length ball with bounce, new ball, and Cook just in the wrong place, just fending it off. Neatly taken catch. He didn't have that long to see it. Well, a little catch at the second attempt, but he stayed looking. He didn't flinch away.
Robert Bailey, the new batsman, coming in at number 3. There's a good shot, well-timed stroke, and that outfield is fast. That's a good stroke.
And this, of course, was anything but a half volley.
Well, Jarvis still getting plenty of lift and movement there. Larkins did pretty well to avoid any contact.
Picked that up very nicely. Perhaps not completely off the centre of the bat. But not only is that side of the ground as fast as the rest of it, but it's also downhill.
Well, Wayne Larkins, one of the 3 real destroyers in the Northants batting lineup, and this is a crucial time for Yorkshire. If they can make inroads into this pair plus Alan Lamb, then it'll go a long way towards settling the match. But look what a beautifully timed stroke that was.
Oh, it must be out if he hits. Ashley Metcalf was the fielder, only had to gather it in, and first of all Bailey had no chance.
Well, what a bad piece of cricket this was in every way. Couldn't quite get it under control. There's no way at all that either batsman could have got home had he made any sort of a pickup.
New bowler is Stuart Fletcher. That's 5 times now. Bailey has been passed outside the off stump. This time it's Stuart Fletcher.
This is one of the hazards of batting against a bowler from the pavilion end. You see that ball just hold its own up the slope. That's all it needs to do, because most things tend to come onto a batsman.
Peter Hartley about to come in from the nursery end. Taking over from Arnie Sidebottom. 5 overs, 1 maiden, none for 16.
It's gone straight up in there. Phil Carrick's caught it, and that's a vital wicket for Yorkshire. Wayne Larkins there trying to work the ball away, hitting it over the top again. Semi-outside edge and going high in there, and Phil Carrick there taking a good catch at mid-off. See the wicket again there, and Wayne Larkins looking to pick that up over mid-on, mid-wicket, and probably getting a semi-leading edge. The ball was up a long time, but Phil Carrick there judged it very well indeed. So this is probably the vital stage of the match already, with the 2 Northamptonshire leading stroke players there, Robert Bailey and Alan Lamb. And certainly if Yorkshire could get these 2 out, the other batsmen can be contained. That was certainly a fine stroke again there by Robert Bailey. Definitely on the up. It wasn't a full half volley, but he's a very tall man. He's about 6'3". Certainly uses that height to great advantage.
This is Bailey's strength. Look at this, nowhere near a half volley.
Another beautiful drive there. That certainly was an half volley, and Bailey certainly latching onto that again and through extra cover.
He first came into prominence with 100 against the West Indies, which I know impressed the selectors.
And that's a marvellous catch there by Martin Moxon. This time Robert Bailey getting a touch, one just bounced a little bit, and again the open face of the bat, and a marvellous catch there by Martin Moxon, diving full length to his right.
Well, that was a great catch. And again, I think it came from Bailey's almost insistence to get on the front foot. You see the length of this delivery, you see, quite short. Forced back onto the line and can only fend it down to the right of Moxon, who swooped to take a very good catch.
In fact, David Capel's had 11 first-class matches this year, and he's scored nearly 400 runs, an average of 43, so he's in pretty good nick with the bat. Back in square drive there. Stuart Fletcher pitching very short. David Capel really cracking that away through the offside.
Short ball from Stuart Fletcher, plenty of room. He had time to fasten onto it, hit it in front of cover. Wasn't that far away from a catch, in fact.
Stuart Fletcher now to continue to Alan Lamb. Four more runs again. Right direction, but just over-pitching a little bit there, Stuart Fletcher, and Alan Lamb dispatching that just wide of Phil Carrick at mid-off. Peter Hartley now to Alan Lamb. Well, again, you see how quick this outfield is. Alan Lamb hitting that on the up, and there's a man back right on deep square. Only probably 10 yards from that ball, but no chance of getting there. Tremendously quick, this outfield. And Phil Carrick's responded there by Paul Jarvis coming back into the attack. And there's a shout there, and Alan Lamb's gone, and that's the vital wicket that Yorkshire wanted. A wild slash at a short ball, looked like a bottom edge, and a good diving catch there by David Bairstow.
Well, a big blow that for Yorkshire. Bottom edge it was, well caught by David Bairstow. Wouldn't have carried to slip, was his catch. All the batting big guns gone, and Northamptonshire's main problem now to bat out the overs, and that's why it'll be that much easier to contain them.
Richard Williams is the man coming in. Pretty used to all-rounder, balls off spinners.
Everything being captured for the Sunday papers here at Lord's. Just out of Moxon's reach this time, and 4 runs. He took a blinder a little earlier from Stuart Fletcher's bowling. David Capel got away with that one. Good fortune never goes astray in these games. Phil Carrick the unlucky man, and Richard Williams the one who had the luck.
Phil Carrick then to continue. And Richard Williams straight away down the wicket. And a good square drive, and 4 runs there. Very fine shot indeed. That's a fine stroke by David Capel. Peter Hartley over-pitching there a bit and driven through extra cover, and that's his 50. So continuing the good work that he had up at Headingley in the Test match, and batting's coming pretty easy to David Capel at the moment. A beautiful stroke there, no effort at all, and David Capel really looking in very fine form out there at the moment.
Well, this was the one we've been looking for. Beautiful swing of the bat over the top, and now Northampton looking to break loose yet again. 173 for 4 in the 46th over.
And another fine stroke again. Now, this is a very vital stage of the innings here for Yorkshire. The bowlers have got to settle down now and bowl to where the fielders are. And that was a poor delivery, short of a length, and David Capel pulling that away over mid-on for 4.
partnership up in 151 balls. 199 for 4, 48.2 overs, and what a partnership this is. David Capel and Richard Williams. Arnie Sidebottom is the bowler. 200 comes up with the wide there, and a muttered and happy word from Arnie Sidebottom. The great recovery from Northants. Paul Jarvis to bowl. Beautifully executed stroke by David Capel. He's played a blinder here today. The break Yorkshire had to get, and Jarvis got it for them. But Capel's done the trick for Northants with the batting. Jarvis has certainly done it for Yorkshire with the bowling today. Looks a good young prospect. He's done himself no harm at all in this final.
Well, a big smile there from Paul Jarvis, not surprisingly. He's got that one to bounce and nip back, and just caught the inside edge. Richard Williams, who's played so well in this marvellous partnership with David Capel, just trying to run that one down, but just caught the edge. And a wonderful reception for Richard Williams. Such a small man in stature, but such a big player.
Duncan Wilde is the new batsman for Northants.
Look at the amount of shoulder that young Paul Jarvis gets into it. He really puts his shoulder up behind the ball. That sort of steady run up and acceleration, and then plenty of whip at the end. And he's the one who's got the wickets here, and he certainly deserved to. He's had any amount of near misses as well.
Very good stroke. No chance for Fletcher down there. Nice shot from Duncan Wilde.
So this one was a bit wide from Paul Jarvis. He won't have been pleased with that, gave him really too much room. And because Duncan Wilde stepped away, he had even more room to hit it square for four.
Cannot have a better reply than that. That's typical of the way Jarvis has bowled today. All attack, giving nothing away, and really getting stuck into the Northants batsman. 226 for 6.
And the way these stumps splatter out of the ground, I think gives you an idea that Mr. Jarvis is always perhaps a yard quicker than he looks.
Hartley. Capel goes 3 short of his 100. Sad for him, but what a terrific job he's done. He's ensured that the Yorkshire side have to break a record if they're to win this match. Lovely innings from a very good young batsman and talented all-rounder. More of a batsman at the moment than a bowler. A good performance.
Yes, Capel came in when things were really quite rocky. He needed defended well, took his scoring opportunities, and then went on to flourish and show himself to be a stroke maker above average. And anyway, some consolation for Hartley, who's worked away from that end, has never stopped trying. It was an inside edge onto the stumps from Capel, not a direct hit, so he brought about his own downfall to an extent, just swinging the bat in the 54th over of the 55 allowed.
Doesn't matter how you get them at this stage of the match. 4 there for Winston Davis and Northamptonshire. And Paul Jarvis has turned in his best bowling performance in this competition. 4 for 43 in 11 overs and 2 maidens. Northants have made 244. The previous highest total to win, that is to win by the side batting second, was Leicestershire in 1985, and they made 215, so mountains to climb for Yorkshire here at Lord's.
244 for 7, and that's Northamptonshire innings rich in stroke play, very enterprising despite losing wickets, and a fine performance by that very cool performer David Capel, 97, unlucky not to get the century. Yorkshire's bowling, well, it was good in parts and not so good in others. The front line bowling certainly was excellent of Paul Jarvis, 4 for 43. Phil Carrick, the captain, he weighed in there economically, 0 for 30. Perhaps the second line of seam attack just that little bit wayward. So now then, Yorkshire batting second require this. And the run rate, 4.45 per over. A lot, as usual, will depend on the form of their openers. That's Martin Moxon and Ashley Metcalf. But let's join it now. They're 3 without loss, and Walker is bowling to Moxon.
It's a cracking shot. They say these two guys are in good form. And here's Davis.
Well, no ball call there, and there was certainly a deflection. It could have been the thigh pad, could have been the bat, but certainly a very fine catch, and by the looks of where Ripley's going on, that could have been off the bat.
This went quick, short ball, and looked to me as though it was definitely off the bat, not off the thigh pad. A wonderful catch.
Well, Martin Moxon now repeating it to Winston Davis. Beautifully timed shot, just off his toes, a turn of the wrist, and really nobody bothering to move. 4 runs to square like that. Beautifully timed stroke. And yet another no ball, so that's a full over gone now. No balls.
Don't know how much Winston Davis has bowled at Lord's, but just down the hill end can lead you to overstep a little bit, put you a little off balance.
Rest of the Yorkshire batting there. Ian Blakey 3, Kevin Sharp, Jim Love, David Bairstow, Phil Carrick, Sidebottom, Hartley, Jarvis. Good line-up there. This time it's Mr. Metcalf's opportunity to clip one away through square leg mid-wicket. Certainly Northampton conceding too many runs in that area. Again, that was just pushed away, nicely timed, and really no chance of catching that. Just speeding away down the hill there. Certainly no power in the stroke, just timed and pushed away.
Yes, Metcalf in a very strong position. He got nicely onto the front foot, held the bat up there, but once the ball's past the field, they can't catch it. It's away.
Jeff Cook now, bringing Nick Cook, the left-arm spinner, into the attack. That's probably good thinking, the way these two have been picking the seamers off on this fast outfield. And he's probably going to say, well, at least with the spin bowlers, they've got to hit them. They can't just run them away on this very fast outfield. Well, a little bit of fortune there for Ashley Metcalf, going down the wicket, trying to hit Cook over the top. Unless he just got a little inside edge on that, I think.
As we'll see, he just gets a little nick otherwise. Clear stumping chance it would have been. Well down the wicket there. Well down the wicket. Bowler did everything right. The batsman's ended up with some fortunate runs. Very interesting that although Moxon's looked the freer of the two players, Cook's choosing to have his mid-off deep for Metcalf and back in the ring for Moxon.
Yeah, it's never the thing to be in too close, but it wouldn't have mattered there. You're better off to have your fielder back on the boundary if you're going to have him out in that area. But it did clear the rope. It was a good smack by Metcalf. And that's a better shot than the one where he took the gamble with pinpointing the man out at long off. It wasn't all that bad a delivery from Nick Cook.
Well, Metcalf's winning this little battle. That 6 was a brave hit over long off. Cook just a shade short of length, but a little bit of width as well. Metcalf pounced on it, and he's now moved on to 40.
Neat stroke. Fast outfield. Metcalf will get back. Good understanding between these two players. They've not had a permanent opening partnership going for all that long. They run well between the wickets. Great sight here at Lord's today. The pavilion on the right, the tavern stand and the new mound stand. And some lovely cricket to match the surroundings.
Really, this outfield is like lightning, because travelling up the hill there towards the far end of the ground, one would have expected the fielder to have made some progress on the ball, but the ball simply raced away for 4.
Doug Paget, the Yorkshire coach, might have had a double triumph from what we've seen in this match. He's kept Jarvis's run down to something like 20 paces. And he stopped Moxon lifting the bat up above his head. But he hasn't stopped him missing the one that just goes past the edge. First break, and boy did they need that.
Well, Cook has really bowled pretty well. Both batsmen have taken a chance against him. He's unlucky not to have had a wicket before, but fine piece of bowling here. See this ball tossed up, turned, and yet went through the gate. So Martin Moxon got in 2 minds there. What a fine innings. 45 off just 71 balls, and he hit 6 cracking boundaries, and he's got Yorkshire off to a really fine start. 29 for 1 off 26 overs. Williams to continue.
Tactics out there now will be to try and let Metcalf take the single so they can get the new batsman down the striker's end. 100 comes up for Yorkshire. So to Blakey to get him off the mark. The 100 came up in 163 balls, second 50 in 80. Yes, they'll try and have Metcalf pick up the single and then try and stop Blakey scoring. Davis. Now Metcalf is going to be very cranky about that. A full toss, and he hit it straight down Davis's throat. Now I think we have a match on our hands.
I think we do, because we'll see this one from Ashley Metcalf, full toss. Could have hit it almost anywhere on that onside, and he's picked out the one man out there. And really, he's started looking edgy from the moment that he lost his partner, Martin Moxon. Fine innings. But at 101 for 2, in the 27th over, nearly halfway, the game's wide open. Strange just what a difference one wicket makes in a dressing room. Here we see it again, a comfortable full toss. Chose to go for the home run instead of keeping it on the ground, and 20 yards short of the ropes there. 101 for 2. Both the openers gone.
Got some good young players on show here today, Mike. Richard Blakey, and we saw Paul Jarvis this morning, who did well.
Yes, in fact, if you look at both sides, there are 2 or 3 players that will be knocking, I'm sure, on the England door in the not too distant future.
Davis, he's done it again. Well, one was a full toss. The second one a long hop. Winston Davis has accepted both with all the calm assurance necessary in a pressure situation of this kind. And what's happened to Yorkshire?
Well, I think they were cruising along, and dare I say it, like Geoffrey Boycott often says, when you're going along quite nicely, just add 2 wickets to the score, and here we have Yorkshire being sort of 100 for no wicket. They've lost 3 wickets very, very quickly, and I think possibly now it's going to be difficult, unless Sharp and Love play well, for them to actually get up to the Northants total.
Well, quite a war of nerves here, because Northants are setting fields which allow Yorkshire to get about 4 and over, but they need 6.5, so that rate is going up all the time. Well bowled there. Williams again, bowling a good line, varying his pace, varying his flight. Wonderful bowling by Richard Williams.
10 overs, no maiden, 2 for 23 for him. Now that rate has gone up past 7 per over, required rate.
Well, this was a good scoring opportunity for Sharp. He had all the room in the world, and don't want to miss those when they come along.
Well, it would have been a great catch. went towards his good hand as well. Cook diving away to his left.
It was hit pretty hard. Cook's gone full length. Probably just got a fingertip.
That's a clinking stroke. That's what Love has been doing. He's been trying to get round to break away from that onside field, trying to give himself a little bit of room. 50 partnership in 82 balls.
Well, the boundaries had dried up for Yorkshire, but that's how to break the spell.
That's what they needed. Richard Williams has done it right at the end of his spell. He's taken his third wicket. Very fine performance from him to follow on the 44 runs he made in that partnership with Capel, which realised 120 for Northants.
Well, we'll see this ball too far up and too straight for the shot that Kevin Sharp tries. There it is, just nicking off stump. What a marvellous finish to a marvellous game for Richard Williams there. Rescued Northampton with the bat and done exactly the same with the ball. See this one again from Sharp, just looking to nudge it wide of the offside. Here comes the almost truculent figure, I think we can say, of David Bairstow. And how many one-day matches he's turned right round with the bat, and a demanding target now.
160 for 4. David Capel will be the new bowler from the pavilion end. Well, that's not where you need to bowl them to Jim Love.
Drifting down leg side. Not the place to bowl to him, and this partnership really is Yorkshire's last chance of firing away from both ends, because with due respect to Phil Carrick and those to come, I don't think they carry quite the batting firepower of this pair.
It's a glorious stroke. Now the first one down on the pads, and the second one a half volley outside off stump. Fortuitous, but no one will know that tomorrow morning.
Well, this completes a very big over for Yorkshire. Never really in danger of leg stump, I don't think. Got a high inside edge off that, comfortably over the corner there.
And another glorious stroke there by Jim Love, and certainly beating the deep fielder again. Beautiful cover drive there. There's a comparison after 45 overs, so not much in it. Another good shot there. This will be a couple length again. And that's a marvellous 50 by Jim Love. He's a little bit slow to get off the mark, but certainly in the last few overs he's really accelerated along out there. Made off 67 deliveries, so that's a pretty good rate of scoring. The rate just below 7, 6.98. Duncan Wall having to go around that boundary again, and just managing to get there again. And a fine piece of fielding there by the Inman. But still 8 runs coming off the over, so Yorkshire going along at the rate required at the moment. And that could be 4 more. David Capel trying to get the Yorker in there, and Jim Love just digging it out, going down to fine leg for 4 runs.
Amazing how since David Bairstow's come in, how the tempo has picked up. He's such a busy player. I think he gives the others confidence at the other end.
And there's a great blow there by David Bairstow. Over extra cover. A couple of bounces into the crowd. And in fact, 0 for 66 in 11 overs. So David Capel there being very expensive. There were 10 boundaries struck off in those 11 overs. Could be a run out here, and he's given him. Well, a real misunderstanding there between David Bairstow and Jim Love, and how these games change on silly little things like that.
Well, it's very rare to get a one-day game without a run out, and there it is. You see this here. Really don't think David Bairstow can blame his partner. Hesitation anyway. His partner half went and then said no. There we see that underarm throw right on target, and Bairstow comfortably out with the bat in the air. Fine innings, and he really has put the game within Yorkshire's grasp, and it would need I think a major foul up now if they didn't clinch the match. Out we've got Yorkshire's captain Phil Carrick.
See the decision there on that run out, and David Bairstow still in the air, but when he's going at full speed and diving, it's very, very fine indeed. So a very good decision there by umpire Ken Palmer. 19 to win, 17 balls remaining, and Winston Davis to Phil Carrick.
Well, this is the value of the extra pace and hostility from Winston Davis against lower middle order batsmen. It's a devilishly hard job for them to put bat to ball when they've come in to start an innings against somebody of his pace.
Phil Carrick's got back to ball this time, and that's slashed away over the 3rd man boundary. So that makes up for the couple of deliveries he failed to score off.
Well, indeed, a very important hit this. Carrick making room, look where his left foot is. Retreating to leg, but found the middle of the bat. And 4 priceless runs.
At this time, length ball. Phil Carrick picking that up in a marvellous 6 over square leg. That's a tremendous blow there.
Well, the fielder there signalled it wasn't 6. He signalled it, the scoreboard's been changed. So only 4 runs for that hit, but still a pretty good effort from Carrick to take 8 runs off that over from Winston Davis.
Push if they go for 2. There's a chance of a run out again. Well, Phil Carrick did the right thing at the end there. He made sure that Jim Love got back to the safe end and stayed in. But there was never a 2 for Phil Carrick there.
No, he decided, I think very rashly, too early in the first run that he was going to go for 2. Wasn't there. As Ray said, about the only thing that the Yorkshire captain got right was to ensure that he sacrificed himself, not only left Jim Love in, but also on strike. There we see the almighty application of brakes and then the restart. It wasn't a great throw, but it didn't have to be, did it? 10 now of just 9 deliveries.
Pick that up on the leg side. Well, Lamble fielding it, and we'll just get the couple. Back now to run the ball.
Yes, and Jeff Cook can't really defend the single, which he desperately wants to deny Jim Love now. 2 balls of this over left. 8 balls of the match in all. A similar number of runs needed.
That's a good shot, and they'll be going for 2 here. A brilliant dive and stop out there. And they're going for 3 now. And just making it. And of course, getting Jim Love down to that far end where he needs to be when the last over starts.
Yeah, I think this 3 runs, probably the most crucial we've seen so far, because it gets Love down on strike. All Sidebottom's got to do is block out this last ball. Desperately close thing. Desperately close thing. Five to win.
Just a single there. They've got to take them. They can't afford not to take them. And of course, they can't afford to play for just having a wicket left extra now. If they'd 2 left, that would be different. But it could come to the last ball and they could lose a wicket, and we should be going to run rates and all sorts.
I think Winston Davis is possibly wanting 1 more man within the circle, but he's not getting it. Jeff Cook's coming very close himself at short mid-wicket. Somehow they've got to keep Sidebottom on strike.
Certainly middle that, but just down to Duncan Wild again at deep square leg. He's certainly been a busy fielder down there today. He's now and again the strike back to Jim, which was important. So 3 to win, 4 balls remaining. Nicely stopped there by Winston Davis, and well bowled right up into the block hole there. So 3 off 3. Can't get better finish than this.
Get to the stage now, Raymond, where a wicket that really would do a lot of damage.
And just a single there on Lamb, deep cover boundary.
1 single here could be the match. That would leave Yorkshire just to play the last ball out. If they didn't lose a wicket, then they'd win it.
And it could be a run out. Oh, and he would have been if he'd hit the wicket, but he just missed. Jim has to just now play this delivery without getting out.
I think Jim Love knows that. He's just raised his bat to the dressing room, but look at this. A direct hit from no more than a few yards. That could well have been the match to Northamptonshire. It still can be if they get Love out. But anything else other than that, either a run or a dot ball, scores level, 1 wicket fewer lost. Yorkshire win.
Yeah, Yorkshire would still win also if they lost a wicket, as the scoring rate goes to the 30 overs and they were in front at that stage. But there's no problem, and Yorkshire win their first major trophy for a long, long time, and they'll be a very happy coach back at Scarborough tonight. Certainly been a long journey if they've lost.
Well, those are the details and how close it was. Superb batting up front by Moxon and Metcalfe, a partnership of 97, but heroic stuff from Jim Love, who really is an expert at this one-day game. Very tough for Northants, I thought, in the field, because they made the right option at one stage by bringing spinners on at both ends. And there you see it reflected in the figures of Nick Cook, 1 for 42, and Richard Williams, 3 for 32. But the result, it went in the end to Yorkshire. They lost fewer wickets, and that's enough. It had all the ingredients, I thought, of a fine one-day cup final. And the trophy, that handsome gold trophy, goes to Phil Carrick. Marvellous to see him with a prize in his hands in his first year of captaincy. And the gold award, well, that went, of course, to Jim Love, presented, or awarded rather, by Mike Gatting.